Hello guys, and welcome back to Edge Essentials. This session we're going to be looking at The Handmaid's Tale and go through a bit of quick revision on a specific section. So what you'll need during this session is a pen to make some notes. Make some notes on either your flashcards or paper, a notebook or your iPad, and preferably a copy of the text to refer back to. Please do not forget to subscribe for more content soon to come and already here. And if you are doing AQA A-level, feel free to search us on Amazon for our revision workbook for The Handmaid's Tale specifically. So let's go. So we are looking at section 2, shopping. Let's look at the significance of the section name. The title shopping reflects the routine, controlled existence of the handmaids, as well as their restricted agency. In Gilead, shopping is one of the few activities handmaids can participate in, but even this is heavily regulated. Instead of a free exchange of goods, shopping becomes a symbol of control, with handmaids only permitted to visit stores with prescribed names and items. The act of shopping also highlights the dehumanization of women, as their primary function is to serve as vessels for reproduction, not as individuals with autonomy. So let's look at the events. We're going to be looking at chapter summaries from chapter 2 to chapter 6 because that is all within section 2. So during chapter 2, Offred describes her daily life in the commander's house, detailing her restricted clothing, environment and interactions with Serena Joy and the Martha, Rita. She reflects on her lack of agency and her role as a handmaid. In chapter 3, Offred encounters Serena Joy in the garden. Serena, once a televangelist, is now embittered by her new role as the commander's wife. Their interaction is cold, emphasizing the power imbalance between them. Chapter 4, Offred leaves the house for a shopping trip, encountering Nick, the commander's driver. Their brief exchange hints at a potential rebellion or forbidden attraction. She also meets Ofgwen, her assigned shopping partner, and they exchange the standard, controlled conversation. Chapter 5, Offred walks through Gilead and observes the highly regulated society. She notes the new naming system for stores and the heavily armed guardians, reflecting on how freedoms were gradually taken away before the full implementation of Gilead's regime. And finally, in chapter 6, Offred and Ofgwen pass the wall, where bodies of executed criminals are displayed. These include doctors who performed abortions before Gilead. The wall serves as a warning against dissent. Offred privately prays for Luke, her former husband, showing her lingering hope. So, the key themes that are explored are surveillance and control, gender and power, rebellion and resistance, and memory and the loss of the past. So in regards to surveillance and control, the structured daily routines and restrictions on language illustrate Gilead's totalitarian rule. The handmaids are monitored in all aspects of life, ensuring obedience. In regards to gender and power, the interactions between Offred, Serena Joy and the Marthas reveal the complex hierarchy among women. Even within oppression, there are levels of authority. Rebellion and resistance. Small acts like Offred's brief exchange with Nick or her private thoughts of Luke suggest the possibility of resistance. Ofgwen too later proves to be more than she seems. And finally, memory and the loss of the past. Offred frequently recalls her life before Gilead, highlighting the stark contrast between then and now. The slow erosion of freedom is a warning about complacency. So now we're going to look at 3 key quotes from this section. The first one's in chapter 2. A shape, red with white wings around the face, a shape like mine, a nondescript woman in red. So in this quote, we have the themes of loss of identity and control. The description of the handmaid's outfit reduces Offred to a shape, stripping her of individuality. The colour red symbolises both fertility and restriction. The phrase nondescript woman emphasizes how handmaids are interchangeable, reinforcing their dehumanization. In chapter 5, we have the quote, "We were the people who were not in the papers. We lived in the blank white spaces at the edges of print. It gave us more freedom. We lived in the gaps between the stories." Themes that run through this quote are resistance and the erasure of women's voices. The metaphor of living in the blank white spaces suggests women were previously overlooked but had freedom. Now, under Gilead, their voices have been completely erased. The phrase gaps between the stories reflects the untold narratives of oppressed groups. Finally, in chapter 6, it says, "It's true, there is a bloodlust. I want to see as much as possible. I want to commit the act of seeing." And the themes of morality and desensitization run through this quote. The phrase bloodlust is striking, suggesting that even Offred has been affected by the regime's violent spectacles. The repetition of "I want" shows an internal conflict. She is both horrified and drawn to witnessing the brutality. Commit the act of seeing implies that observation itself becomes an act of rebellion, as knowledge is dangerous in Gilead. So that's it for section 2. I hope it's been helpful, and please stay tuned for the rest of the sections. Also, please subscribe. Until next time, bye!